Awesome. All right, guys, we have officially kicked off our first Team Eagle 2018 call. So welcome to our team call. It is January 8th. And I'm super excited about, coming from Super Saturday this past weekend. Hope you guys all had an opportunity to attend the Super Saturday. If you did not attend the Super Saturday, the great news is that the video that was shown on Super Saturday is in the back office. So you'll be able to take a look at that. But tonight I'm gonna talk about a couple of things that was shared at Super Saturday, sort of like a quick overview. But our theme for tonight is to talk about how we need to operate our business from a place of love and not fear. And when I listened to Ivy on her live just a little while ago, we're right in line to the theme of this year. And it's just really, guys, it's to share who we are, to share our story. But before we dive into that, I want to just do some recognition first. And then we'll do some updates, some really important things that was shared at Super Saturday. And then we're going to dive into our call, onto the topic of our call, and take it from there. So with that, I'm so excited, first of all, to welcome our 105 new Team Eagle members. I'm especially excited about this, guys, because I haven't seen a 3-digit number in a while. And it's so awesome to start the new year with 3 digits, welcoming 105 coaches. And, my expectation, our expectation, guys, is just to keep this number going. When we continue, we're going to talk a little bit more about when you operate from a place of love, we're going to just love to help so many people. So welcome to Team Beachbody. Welcome to Team Eagle. And we had a handful of top sponsors last week. So help me congratulate Ashley Grader, Joanna Bedan, Rochelle Osborne, Darlene Dews, aka Dee Dee, and Gabriela Lopez. So congratulations to our top sponsors. This past week, we also had 3 top producers. So congratulations to Audrey Robles, Marissa Luna, and Ivy Morales. Congratulations, ladies. And we had a handful of rank advancements this past week. So please join me in congratulating our newest Emeralds, Lisa Shea Martinez, Damaris Laboy, Jose Hernandez, Kimberly Nieves, Sheila Cisco. And we have 2 new diamonds. I mean, we didn't have a call last week. So our last diamond of the year, and congratulations to Rosie Caston. I hope I pronounced Rosie's name. And our first diamond for the year, Adawi Hernandez. I don't know if Adawi is on, but Adawi, congratulations. First Team Eagle diamond in 2018. And also, I would like to congratulate our 2018 elite coaches. So congratulations to Ivy Morales, Mary Powell, Melissa Pepitone, and Audrey Robles. And guys, we are working on getting an elite team call here on Team Eagle with our 4 elite leaders from 2018. So congratulations to all the ladies. Also, what I want to talk about just really briefly about elite, because it's been so many changes, a lot of changes happening with qualifying and how to get to elite. I know that all the like the Northeast, Southeast regions, they're all hosting, calls, going over the details on how to get to elite. And by the way, guys, don't let the word elite scare you. Elite just means that you're operating from a place of love and you're paying it forward and you're helping many, many lives. Like, that's really what it means. But I'm not going to take away from the meat of the call, because Saudi and I are going to have some great stuff to share with you. But what I wanted to share, guys, really important things that were shared at the Super Saturday is that the Team Beachbody Cup, the annual February, it's right around the corner, and registration starts on Monday, January 15th, the same day that we kick off 80-Day Obsession. So it's going to be a team of 5. And what I love about the Team Beachbody Cup is that, the goal with the Team Beachbody Cup, guys, is, to grow your business, help more people. It helps to grow your business. You get prizes. There's a lot of rank advancements that come out of the Team Beachbody Cup. So registration again starts Monday, and there's a whole strategy, on how to put together your team of 5. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to bring that to the page, during the week. But just know that registration starts next Monday. And for the newer coaches that are on the call, you're like, what the heck is Team Beachbody Cup? It's just it's a friendly competition. And honestly, you're not doing anything different than what we should be doing. We're inviting, we're following up, we're sharing our stories on Facebook Live, we set goals, and we do a little bit more. We just do a little bit more in the month of February. So the second thing, guys, is Coach Summit tickets. There's a great reduced rate right now until the end of the month for $145. If you have not registered, guys, get yourself registered. That's why I posted in the team page last week, like, who's going to Summit? Do you need a roommate? I did that on purpose, guys, so you guys can talk to one another and see if you guys can room together. Because starting February is going to go back up to the regular price of $195, and like, who wants to pay regular price? It's like, who wants to pay for, Shakeology regular price? Nobody does, right? So you don't want to pay regular price for the Summit ticket. And for the new coaches that are on the call, when you help at least 3 people with a challenge pack in your first 3 months of being a coach, your ticket is free. So you don't pay the $145 or the $195, the regular price. You earn that for free, along with being recognized and being on a call with Carl Daigler. All right. And speaking of big announcements, so we're going back on a cruise, guys, next year. I honestly thought we were going back to Dominican Republic, but they tricked me. No, it's a cruise. We're going on a cruise. And there is 3 ways to earn this, guys. And this is where Success Club is so important, guys. It's one of the many benefits of achieving Success Club. Clearly, we're in the people helping people business, and that's how we measure how we're doing with our business. It's based on Success Club, how many people are coming in and committing to their fitness, to their nutrition, and we're giving them the support. So every time somebody comes in and they purchase a challenge pack, we're saving lives, we're helping people with their transformation, you're growing your business, you're growing your income. There's so many benefits. And then on top of that, Beachbody has this rewards program. I don't know if this is I think it's my 5th earned trip with Beachbody. And, you're able to bring a guest, guys. But it's going to be dependent on Success Club points. And I know that it was shared here in the group yesterday. And I know that many of us also shared it on our team pages, that as of today, you had to opt in. And what does that mean? With Beachbody has really, grown over the years. And to get every single coach on a cruise, it's nearly impossible, right? You can't get everybody in that cruise ship. And by the way, that entire cruise ship is going to be all of Beachbody, okay? But there's 3 ways to earn it. So, one of the ways to earn it is that you have to be a top 2017. So getting the invite for the cruise is to register for the cruise is based on your performance from last year. So they're going to take a look at the top 2017 Success Club earners. The ones that do not have to opt in, and I know that here we have a lot of Success Club legends. Success Club legend means that you have achieved Success Club for 24 months straight consecutive, okay? And so those coaches that are elite, that they're premier Success Club All-Star legends, will automatically get an invitation. And then so that's the first wave. Those are the ones that get to register first. That's because it's based on performance. And then the next one they're going to take a look at are the top 2017 earners. And, I think it's like 5,000 people. So that's why you have to opt in to say, yes, I'm interested. Okay. I'm interested to be considered. So, this year, guys, you focus on helping people every single month, because that's gonna come into play, guys, okay? And then there's a third way to earn, but it says coming soon. So I don't know what coming soon means yet, okay? So I really wanted to stress that out. All right. So that was just a quick update that I just wanted to share. Now, so, you know, we had an amazing Super Saturday. And when these Super Saturdays are so huge, some things we had to push back. And so Saudi was going to interview me on Saturday for achieving, you know, being in the Millionaire Club. And unfortunately that, you know, it didn't happen. It didn't happen for XYZ reasons. So, you know, we agreed that today we wanted to talk about that on our call because the more and more, you know, when I mean, I spoke very briefly on Super Saturday about that. And, you know, and that's why I called the team call tonight about operating from a place of love. Okay. Because being in the Millionaire Club, guys, is achievable to every single one of you. No one is exempt. No one is exempt from being in the Millionaire Club. But you have to operate from a place of love and not from a place of fear. And one of the things that I've known in all my years now as a Beachbody coach, I've been a Beachbody coach since 2009, is that 98% of the coaches are driven by fear. And so when you're driven by fear, you get stuck. Can anybody relate to that? You know, when you operate from fear, you get stuck and you can't move forward. And you may have a lot of dreams and a lot of desires to make that happen, but you can't move forward because of fear. But when you do it from a place of love, it just changes the mechanics of it. It just changes the entire thing. So, so with that, you know, I'm going to turn it over really quickly. Saudi, where are you? There you go.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where we just had to make an executive decision to keep the event going because Autumn had to run out and then we had to get 200 photos taken. So we apologize for those who were at Super Saturday if you were rushed, if you feel like the recognition wasn't what it was supposed to be. It wasn't. Even the elite recognition was supposed to be different. So we want to make it up tonight, and we just want to talk a little bit about, Micki, mute yourself so that we don't have feedback.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hold on.
So what we really want to, the biggest part about Million Club is when I look at it, it's the last man standing. That's how I see it. When you look at the company and all, there's 450,000 coaches plus, and I think there's only like 100 people who have made it to the Million Club. And so for you to be part of a team who has not one but two women who really put skin in the game and operate from a place of love on a daily, and when you guys see us together, we're usually crying or making you laugh, and it's because of the partnership and the relationship that we have. But not only that, you know, Million Club represents lives changed, and that's what I really wanted to drive, and that's why I wanted to surprise Micki playing Yadi's video. I don't know if you guys know, but Yadi was selected to be part of the Latino Super Saturday testimony, and it was a really big thing. Not only seeing the video, but what happened when the video was filmed. Micki was there with her the whole step of the way. I wish there was a way like to kind of document how it all went down and how Micki was there with her the entire time, holding her hand and supporting her, making sure she looked amazing, making sure that, you know, she was there, right? And when we look at our team and how we build our teams, that's how we build our teams. We're there for each other. Your upline, your upline, your downline, everybody is just there because there's no I in team. And so we want to play the video again tonight to really kind of like replay what I had in my head. What I wanted to do for Micki as a recognition was to surprise her with that video, because we all know that Micki is an incredibly powerful woman who is loyal. Because how do you get to a Million Club? You have to be really loyal and you have to really love what you do, you know. And she's impacted all of our lives here tonight. all of you that are here tonight, and she's impacted the lives of so many women. So Micki, if you could play the video before we get into the
and what I wanted to share really quickly, guys, before I play the video, because I need to share some behind the scenes on it real quick, is the fact that I happened to be there, right? Because this video was taped in Vegas. Yadi was my guest at leadership, and as Saudi said, and I get, I get very like emotional, and I'm never at a loss for words, but your success, guys, is when you see your team successful, that's when it hits you.
Yep.
Like that's when it hits you. And, seeing that video and seeing her story and her life, and I've known Yadi now for over 20 years. And this is somewhat, well, you know what? She's going to say it in the video and you'll see it. It is in Spanish. I know that some of you maybe on here do not speak Spanish, but that's okay because Marlon, who's our assistant, translated it for us. So you're going to see it, in the bottom. So let me share the screen and we're going to play it. Share. Can we see it? Yep. Okay. So let me make it big.
Mi nombre es Yari Jacoboni. Yo nací en Ecuador, viví en New Jersey y ahora vivo en Florida. Y soy una diamante, una estrella. Antes de Beachbody, yo trabajaba para un banco. Trabajé ahí 15 años. Pensé que yo estaba alcanzando el éxito. Pensé que mientras yo subía de posición, decía, esto es lo que yo quiero hacer para toda la vida. Con mi familia, mi esposo, mi madre y yo, quisimos hacer algo diferente mientras yo trabajaba en el banco. Quisimos abrir un negocio nuevo. Las cosas no fueron como nosotros soñamos. Nuestro negocio cayó completamente. Financieramente estuvimos en un momento muy, muy difícil. Mi esposo perdió su trabajo al mismo tiempo donde el negocio nuestro no estaba funcionando. Yo había dado a luz. Gané 30 libras. Yo soy chiquita y 30 libras la verdad que se nota mucho. Me sentía deprimida, me sentía derrotada porque todos los sueños que yo tenía de armar algo grande para mi familia se derrumbó de la noche a la mañana. Como yo estaba deprimida, había mucho conflicto en la familia, con mi esposo, mi matrimonio se estaba derrumbando. Y la verdad que poder otra vez subir se me hizo un poco más difícil. Tengo una amiga que yo amo, que adoro, que es mi coach. Ver su transformación.
Let me stop you for 1 second. I understand you guys can't see it. Hold on. You can't see it?
It's frozen.
It's frozen?
Looks like now, it looks like it moved now. So let's just play it again. I think it'll go.
Okay, maybe when I made it big, because that's what I did. I made the screen big.
How it is right now, it looks like it moved.
Like it moved.
Like now what she's saying.
Okay, hold on.
Grande para mi familia se derrumbó de la noche a la mañana.
Okay.
Como yo estaba deprimida, había mucho conflicto en la familia, con mi esposo, mi matrimonio se estaba derrumbando. Y la verdad que poder otra vez subir se me hizo un poco más difícil. Tengo una amiga que yo amo, que adoro, que es mi coach. Ver su transformación y cómo ella salió de una oscuridad que ella está pasando en su vida, me inspiró a mí de que sí tengo esperanza a poder recobrar. Si ella pudo, ¿por qué yo no? Y te voy a decir la verdad, yo dije no al reto como 3, 4 veces. Y hasta que toqué el piso, empecé a sentir más energía, empecé a sentir más confianza en mí misma, confianza que ya había perdido. Vi el cambio físico que estaba teniendo, vi que mi ropa me volvía a quedar otra vez como me quedaba antes. mi salud está mejor que nunca, estoy en mejor forma que nunca, ya casi 42 años y me siento como que fuera una muchachita chiquita. 5 de mis mejores amigas me dijeron, quiero hacer lo que tú estás haciendo, Yari. Y se unieron al reto. Yo le llamé a mi coach y le dije, tengo a 5 personas que quieren unirse al reto, pero te lo dejo para ti. Y mi amiga me dijo, Yari, tú sabes que tú puedes beneficiarte de un extra dinerito invitando a otros a un reto. ¿Por qué no? Hazlo. Y así fue, mis amigas se unieron y cuando recibí mi primer cheque de Beachbody, dije, wow, aquí hay una oportunidad. He podido pagar mis deudas, he podido apoyar a mi familia financieramente, que es algo que me ha llenado muchísimo. Pude decir adiós al banco después de 15 años, que pensé que yo me iba a retirar en el banco. He conocido gente espectacular que me han dado el apoyo cuando más he necesitado. No me he dejado de caer, porque han habido momentos difíciles, pero tengo la comunidad de mi equipo, la comunidad de Team Beachbody, que han estado ahí conmigo para otra vez subirme cuando yo me he sentido para abajo. Por eso te digo, este negocio para mí ha sido un propósito que me ha llenado la vida. Y esto lo quiero hacer hasta cuando ya sea bien viejita, con un bastoncito.
Oh, so guys, if I had not invited Yadi to this event, to this opportunity, to my challenge, and she said it in her video, she turned me down. She says it's, I don't know, she turned me down a lot. She really did, because she loves to eat. And so she didn't want to give up her food. But I kept insisting. I never gave up. I never took her no as a rejection, because I know she needed this. And I kept going. And that's how come, guys, don't let fear, you can't let fear run your business. You can't let fear run your life. Because if you do, there's a lot of people out there that their lives are not going to change because you're fearful. And being fearful, guys, I said it on Saturday, and I've always said it before. I says, share your story. Don't be a holder backer. Don't hold back. Because when you hold back, it's about you. It's not about anyone else. It's about you. So Yadi, thank you for saying yes, because you could have kept saying no, but sooner or later, I was going to grab you. Even if you were walking with your, batoncito, with your little thing. And so, I love you, and I'm, and look at now, you're paying it forward, and you're changing more lives. And congratulations again on, your personally sponsored coach Adawi hitting, diamond already this year. And it's because you kept inviting and you kept showing up, and it's consistency in this business, guys. You can't stop, even when things don't look so great. So.
Absolutely. And Yadi, one of the things that stands out for me the most, just knowing you and just being on the other side and hearing Micki's excitement, it's like seeing your child graduate from college. It was the most amazing experience for Micki, and I'm glad that you guys got to see the video tonight. But you know what I also realized watching the video and seeing how you work your business, and knowing that, okay, so Micki announced this call and keeps saying operate from a place of love and not a place of fear. And I think that a lot of us on this call tonight probably don't understand what that means. And when you look at the way Yadi came into this business and the way Yadi works her business and the relationship that her and Micki have, it all stems from Yadi saying no and Micki loving on her and still continuing to invite her and still continuing to show up from a place of love. And when we say that, that means like, so you guys all watch Micki on her Micki show, and you guys all see how Micki works her business. She's very different than many coaches, and she's very original and organic and raw and real. And so is Yadi. And it all stems from how there's somebody who said this to me 7 years ago. The way you are brought into this business is how you build your business. And you saying no to Micki and having the relationship that you guys have, and having to go through all the things that you went through in your marriage, in your job, both together working in the bank, that was all preparing you for this relationship, for this business, and for this amazing sisterhood and community. And so guys, be real and genuine with who you are and what you're living right now. You're probably saying, oh my God, I don't have the story that Yadi has, or, how am I going to, show people? You show Yadi's story. You go in the back office, you find somebody else's story. The way I build my business, the way I got to Diamond is that I went into the back office and I found videos of people that I can relate to. And those are the videos that I would send people, because until you have your own testimony, you have to use the testimony of your team and of people that have already shared their story. So thank you so much, ladies, for being who you are and for really just showing us, because I think that everybody keeps talking about this place of love, and it's apparently the new way of marketing yourself, and you guys have done it all along. What you guys did organically is how people are being taught to work their social media. And that means a lot to me. And so I just kind of want to dig into Micki a little bit and kind of just get a little bit of her backstory for those new coaches. We have a lot of new coaches on the call tonight, and probably that will join us later on if you're not on now. And I call this the $1 million interview of our Mama E that we love, love, love. Micki, tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you were raised. I know you were raised by two very strong women. It's something you and I have in common. And we all know you worked at Citibank because Yadi mentioned it. And for those that don't know, you also are a college dropout. But I feel like you graduated now.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because that was one of the biggest things that I was afraid to share. I used to be very fearful. So just a little, fast and furious, backstory of who I am. I was raised by, two very strong women. Another thing that Yadi and I have very in common. She also was raised by two strong women. And my father was a deadbeat dad. And, my mom, and everybody who knows me knows that Mama Dukes is my life. And so my mom worked in a factory here in Queens, in Long Island City, and I had to help her pay bills. So I started working at the age of 12. I wasn't supposed to be working at 12, but I was. And because I needed to help her make money and pay some bills, because my father just never showed up. And so I've hustled. I've worked since I was young. That's all I know how to do. And not only did I work this side hustle at the age of 12, but I would also work at home, with my mom. I got married at a very young age. I always say I didn't even know how to wipe my ass when I got married. I was only 19. Sorry, I'm keeping it real, but it's the truth. And so I moved upstate New York. And when I lived upstate New York, I didn't have any family there. So I worked at a bank. I was a teller at a bank. And but my husband at that time traveled a lot, so I needed to stay busy. So I guess I was destined to be in network marketing, because I started working for network marketing not knowing it was a network marketing. It was a makeup company. And I used to do home parties, makeup home parties, as a side hustle. And I worked full-time at the bank, and then I did I did the thing with the makeup, going to people's houses. And when I look at that back, I'm like, and I don't, it's so much harder than what we do now. I had to go to people's house and, pray that I didn't mess up their makeup, because I learned on the job. But financially, I still needed more money. So then I took on a third job. So I had 3 jobs. I worked at the bank, part-time, multi-level marketing with makeup stuff. And then I worked at some trade school, doing telemarketing calls to get kids out of high school to come into the school that I was working for. And all I know how to do is work hard. Like, that's what I was taught at a very young age. And that's all I know how to do.
That just explains everything. And a lot of us on this call probably have a similar upbringing, don't even realize that. That's why you're on this call tonight. That's why you joined this team. It's not everybody. I know this could be for everybody, but it's not everybody who has the ambition and the desire to work hard. That's what we learn from our parents, and those are the things that are instilled in us from when we're little. And so we want you to kind of like think about that. The real reason why Micki and I are doing this interview is we really want you to dig deep into your upbringing and to kind of figure out who you really are and why are you wired the way you are? Why do you do the things you do? You know, and working closely with Micki, I see it all the time. I see why she's the way she is. And, you know, Micki, I know you worked your way up the corporate ladder, and, you know, tell us a little bit about, you know, how long it took you to make six figures when you were working at Citibank. I know that, you know, you worked around the clock, you know, to make that salary. And tell us a little bit about that and how it was for you as far as the hours and all that.
Sure. Well, just, you know, banking, I worked in the banking industry for 27 years. I started as a teller. I worked for like 3 to 4 different banks, but the last bank where I was at was Citibank, which is how I met Yadi and her husband, as a matter of fact. That's how we go way back. We have a lot of history together. But to build a I slowly went up the corporate ladder. You know, as you said, I didn't get my college degree, but I always worked hard. And I always wanted to perform at a high level. Like I didn't want to just do things half-ass. And so even as a child, I remember going into the bank with my mom. I must have been like 6 or 7 years old. And I would go with her to the bank when she would go to the teller. And I would always tell her that I was going to work at a bank when I was older, but I wasn't going to count cash. I was going to be the boss. So even at a young age, I already knew that I was aiming for something higher. Not that tellers worked their butts off. I was a teller, so I know. They worked their butts off. But that's not where I wanted. Like I wanted to be the boss. And so I slowly, you know, went up. I slowly went up the corporate ladder from, you know, being a teller. I was a teller trainer, so I was training all the new tellers coming in. I went through management training programs. And to answer your question, like how long did it take me to build a six-figure salary? 10 plus years.
And with Beachbody?
And so with Beachbody, when I made the decision, because this is a decision, when I made a decision, like, you know what, I'm going to work this business and I'm going to do this. So it took 2 years.
Awesome. And what did it look like when you were building your side hustle? You know, I remember when I joined, I'll never forget you being on the kitchen table, 8 o'clock at night, sometimes without eating dinner, you know, to do team calls. Back then we were like 10 coaches on the team, and you know, you were working long hours, but you were still working your side hustle. And tell us a little bit about that, because I'm sure there's coaches on our team right now that are, you know, we're working the same, they're working the same type of job that you were working in and doing this part-time.
And it's, you know, funny that you should say that because, you know, at Super Saturday, the elite coach that spoke in the video of, what's her name?
Kasia, yeah.
Kasia Fitzgerald. I love one of the things that she shared, and I'm going to start doing that. And so it's to talk more about this being a part-time, because that's what I did. You know, I was working full-time at the bank, but this was my side hustle. So while I worked full-time, I was building my dream job, my dream life on a part-time basis, not even realizing that I was doing that at first, because I didn't know I was doing that at first, guys. But the more and more I started helping people and I started seeing people's lives transform, the more and more I wanted to do this full-time and the less I wanted to be at the bank. And one of the things that used to get under my skin big time is that, you know, as a branch manager, I could not have my phone on my desk. You know, I would put it, you know, in my drawer because it was unprofessional to have, you know, I couldn't be on the phone while I was at my job. And so many of my coaches that were with me from the beginning, when they would try to reach me, they couldn't reach me. And so they would always reach out to Saudi, because Saudi was always in the bathroom working her business job. She was a little bit more flexible than me.
Oh my God. And you see, and that's where our relationship stemmed from, because Micki and I didn't know each other back then. My brother is Tony's best friend, and we didn't know that. I didn't know Tony had a sister, and my brother didn't, vice versa. And so it's crazy you mentioned that, Micki, because so I worked for the school board and I had my own office. And so I was nobody was watching me. So I would work my side hustle at my job. But you know what? It's crazy that you mentioned that, Micki, because I was working my side hustle and I was changing, and my principal started to notice, all of a sudden, the door to my office was always open. They would put me in the front to like cover for clerks, and they all of a sudden started to see that I was changing and that I was growing my side hustle. And so it became a little bit difficult. And so it's crazy how things just, happen. But Micki, what makes you different from those people, maybe from like that you went to school with, or from around your neighborhood, that are, kind of complacent, making anywhere from $24,000 a year, and the fact that you make that in a month, what makes you different from those people? And again, and Beachbody, well, we're not live anywhere, but regardless, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. It's based on your hard work. So what do you think makes you different from people who just settle for that salary? And you're here changing people's lives. And
I'll tell you exactly what it is, because it's something that happened to me in this kitchen table years ago, a long, long time ago. I'll never forget. I was here in the kitchen, and I was having not even a conversation. It was an argument with my mother and with a neighbor. And I don't remember, honestly, what the actual topic was, but all I remember saying is, you don't pay my bills, okay? You don't put food on my table, so I could do whatever the hell I want, and I could say whatever the hell I want. I am who I am. I was like 13 or 14. I was young. Like, I don't even remember what it was. But as you're saying that, and I'm sitting in the kitchen table, that's what it was. It was just, I've always been comfortable in my skin.
So you don't settle?
No, I wasn't, and it was something that they were trying to make me agree to what they were believing in, but I didn't. So I stood up for myself. I'm like, no, that's not the way it goes.
So basically, you realize at some point, right, that what you were, what you were making in the bank was not enough.
No. Well, not in the beginning, because, I sort of just I had become complacent with a 6-figure salary, like, and, working at the bank. And if there's anybody on this call right now that works in corporate America, very few companies give raises, very few companies. And so what got me thinking, as far as like I needed to do more, like there was more that was waiting for me, was when I literally took my salary, I divided it by the hours that I worked, and I'm like, I'm underpaid. These mofos are stealing my time. And then that got me upset. Because even though, I had like $120,000, salary and all the benefits, but when I divided that by the 80 plus hours, I was underpaid and I wasn't getting any raises. And the 120, by the way, was, before taxes. So it was even less, much less. I was getting paid pennies. And then so when I started seeing my weekly commission, when I started seeing the team cycle, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a team effort. This is not just me. You cannot build a 6-figure business by yourself. And so I started noticing the opportunity when I started seeing my team cycle, because the team was growing, and initially, guys, the way this team was growing, there was no 5-step process to invite, there was no Instagram. There was none of that. Like, you guys are sitting in right now, what we have right now is we're sitting in a gold mine, because back then we didn't have what we have today. Everything was word of mouth.
But for like, I think that's why we grew the team so fast.
We didn't
Because
think
we didn't have so much distractions. We didn't have so many areas to choose from as far as where we're going to bring our people from. We were just signing up people and sharing the amazingness and that there's a discount. So from what I'm understanding, what makes you different from the people around you, maybe in your neighborhood or that you went to school with, is that you were brave enough to stand up for yourself and to know, that you were worth more and that you can make more, right? And also, that's the word. You were aware. Being aware. I think that it's not that people, because sometimes we try, maybe they don't want to have a part-time hustle. Maybe they're lazy. I don't think it's that. I think that they're unaware of the possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
And let me just share something. And I also want to address Maritza Soto's comment on here. But there was one moment when I was working at the bank. I had to go to a Girl Scouts meeting. The bank had paid for some dinner for us to attend. And I remember the head of the Girl Scouts, this woman was sharing her story. And always remember that when people share their stories, I just had this aha moment right now, by the way, guys. When people share their stories, although you're listening to their story, you're also reflecting on your own story. Every time you hear somebody share their story, because I bet you when you guys were all watching Yadi's video right now, you thought about your life.
Oh, yeah.
One way or the other, you thought about your life. That's what happens when you share and you're not a holderbacker. So this woman shared, there was something that she shared, and then I remembered my grandmother. As a matter of fact, my grandmother's birthday was yesterday. And I thought about her. And I thought about how that I have this opportunity in this country because she made a decision to leave her motherland of Dominican Republic, which is my family's from. She left her country to come to this country where she didn't know the language, she didn't know anyone, and she took a risk in doing so. And because of my grandmother's decision to do that, I now have this opportunity to do more and help more. So my grandmother has played till today a major role. She's definitely my role model. And
she made you be a go-getter. You're a go-getter and you don't settle.
All I saw my grandmother was hustle, hustle, hustle. That's all I know.
Maritza, so, I had the luxury of doing that during my while I was building my business part-time, but that wasn't always the case. I wasn't always allowed to, work my business from work, but I did work diligently from when I got home to the time I went to bed. And even before I went to work, if I had to get my workout in, because that's part of the job, guys. Part of the job is to work out. And so the best advice I could give you is to schedule your time.
Yeah.
I always say, I acted like I took out a loan of $100,000 to buy this business, and I may believe that I had to pay the bank every single month, and I would punch in and I would punch out. I guarantee that if everybody on this call were to treat their part-time hustle that way, you will grow it, and it will become your plan. Your plan B will become your plan A. There's no way it won't, So Micki, one of the things that I love is I love studying millionaires, thanks to you, because you made me go to an Eric Worre event 2 years ago with a couple of our leaders where we met multiple millionaire women, and I've been fascinated with studying them. And I noticed that, it's very interesting how they are, very similar to you and myself. But one thing that stands out is that they're hard workers. And obviously that's what you learned from your mom and your grandmother. Same with me. I learned that from my mom, my grandmother, and from my brother. And that they enjoy what they do. I think that's very important. I think that they're not only wired to work hard, but they're also wired to be able to brush things off and just have fun with everything that they do. So you're an example of that, and you're definitely wired to work hard. But why are so many, there's so many people who are scared of that word, right? There's so many people who are scared of the word hard work. And I know because right now we're about to start a cup challenge and I already hear it. Oh my God, I'm afraid. Oh my God, what if I let my team down? Why? like we shouldn't be afraid of working, right? So where does that, I know it stems from your mom and your grandmother, but do you feel you were born a hard worker? Like, how were you in school? How were you in high school? Like, did you just make it happen?
You know, even as a young child, and I don't know that my siblings are on here on the call, but even as a child, they say I was always bossy. They'll tell you that I was always, bossy. I've always been like this caretaker, and a lot of it has to do when my father abandoned us. So that's where it also comes from. Seeing my father abandon us and forget about us, and seeing my mom have to get up at 4:00 in the morning to go to a factory. And not only would she go to a factory at 4:00 in the morning, but she had a sewing machine, which we still have in this back room, a Singer sewing machine. And she would bring work home and then also work home. And to watch her here in this kitchen, falling asleep while she's sewing because she's so tired, that would kill me. And so I knew that I had to take action. I had to take action as a young child. And so at the age of 12, I started working because I needed to help my mom. And so she's been my driving force.
We all have a place where it stems from, guys.
Yes.
Dig in. And if you feel like maybe you don't connect to any of this, it's never too late to become a hard worker. Stay up a little later, wake up a little earlier, and stay true to your goals and your dreams and to your team. A lot of times you got to just think of it from the perspective like, okay, this isn't about me anymore. This is about the people that are waiting for me to reach out. This is about my team who's, looking up to me. This is about my upline who is expecting me to, make the next step, make these moves and grow, right? So another attribute, Micki, that I know everybody here can agree with me is that you're super, super passionate and consistent. I mean, you can't get to Million Club without being consistent. I think that, we all know that you're purpose-driven. What are your thoughts on being, your passion and the difference between you and an average network marketer is that passion? And so talk to me about that and the team's mission and what does that look like?
Yeah, well, you know what? It all stems back. Even as a child, I always knew I was different. I knew as a child, and when I say child, I'm talking about maybe 7 years young. Because I used to pinch myself and I would ask myself, who am I? As a 7-year-old, I would always ask, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I here? And so fast forward to years, since the age of 7, I was gifted this book because this is where it all comes from. There's a lot of history here. And that's why, guys, when you see, coaches that reach a certain level, and there's a lot of history behind that. There's a whole journey behind that, and so, I would always ask myself, why am I here? Who am I? And I would pinch myself. And so I was gifted a book, and you probably heard of it, The Purpose-Driven Life, by Rick Warren. And that book came to me at the most darkest moment of my life because I had just left my husband of 14 years. There was a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And so in this book of 40 days, because you had to take a chapter a day to read it, there were so many aha moments, So, guys, whatever you're going through right now, understand that it's part of your purpose. And that's why I'm so purpose-driven. And so this book played a huge role. And that's in that book is where I learned to forgive. I learned the power of forgiveness. I learned to stop calling my ex-husband, kids, bastards, because that's what I used to call them. So I had a lot of anger and hurt. And so that book taught me that I was being prepared, that all that pain, all that crying was part of the test. It was all part of the test to get me to here, where I am right now on this kitchen table. Yep. Every decision that I've made. And so understanding that I was created on purpose and for a purpose, and then understanding why, even as a child, I would pinch myself and ask myself, who am I? Why am I here? And that's where, you know, my power statement came from I am a messenger of hope. And, you know, being a messenger of hope, you know, and Yadi actually shared those words in the video, that I gave her hope, you know, so that's why, you know, I got very emotional listening to it, because it plays back when I had to do this assignment with Beachbody and I had to come up with my power statement. What's your power statement? I am a messenger of hope, you know, and hope through my story. And that's what you've got. That's what you've got to share your story, guys, you know, and does it happen overnight? Of course not. It's a process. And that's why personal development is so important. That vital behavior, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. It's the best workout for your mindset. And it's something that in the beginning, guys, keeping it real, I didn't do in the beginning of my coaching career. Just because, you know, I was in banking for so long. I learned about personal development in this business. You know, it's in this business where I found my purpose. This business has done so much in my life. You know, it's where I found my purpose. You know, as much of a church goer that I am, I didn't find my purpose in church. I found it here in this business of helping others, because that's what we're all called to do. This is an amazing platform, guys. Just to share who you are. You know, someone asked, well, you know, Micki, I'm struggling with my brand. I'm like, you are your brand. It's you. You're looking at her in the mirror. Every day you look at her. It's your story. That's who it is. Your brand is not me. It's not Saudi. It's not Yadi. It's not Blanca, Cynthia. It's you.
Yep.
That's your brand.
So Micki, you know, I should have asked this question before this question, because you kind of just answered it. And so I was talking to Melissa earlier, and we were thinking, I was telling her that we were thinking of getting the elite coaches to jump on a panel tonight. And she's like, you know, I would love to ask them to share, you know, how do they just make it happen? And so you ended the year, because for those that don't know, Micki hit Million Club months ago. She just didn't allow me to say anything. And so it took a long time for me to convince her that this was important for our team. And I hope you guys agree. And if you do agree with me, please share it in the comments so that I can tell her I told you so. Micki, so you had a good year, because our prediction was that you were probably going to hit it this year when we were talking about it last year, because I didn't want to be in this spot by myself. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about how do you make it happen no matter what? Obviously, I know it's your purpose, but you hit Success Club 10 and above every single month. You show up to your business every single day. You work with your team. You divide yourself every which way. You support not only your team, but the entire Team Eagle. Tell us a little bit about why you don't give up. How does that kind of look like? And what advice do you give coaches that are asking this question? It's a little crazy question, but I know you understand.
I mean, I can't give up. It's like giving up on my purpose. It's like giving up on why God created me. Like, that's my driving force, guys. Like, let's just keep it real here. You know, like, we all have a why, a reason. And by the way, like, your why will evolve over time. You know, my initial why is, you know, I wanted to fire Citibank. That was my initial why. I wanted to get the hell out of there, because, you know, I was living in hell. That was hell in there. And so I needed to get out. So it took something negative, because sometimes it's something negative that will move you, believe it or not. And so for me, I was so miserable there. And then when I would come here to this kitchen table and be on Facebook talking to people, like, that would bring me life, because that's what we're called to do. We're all called to make a difference. You know, we're all called to make a difference. So that's why I can't give up. There's no option. There's no option to give up. I was called for a purpose, and I'm going to share something with you. And this has stayed with me. And every time I think of it, and for those of you that have known me for a while, you even knew, you know, when I broke shattered my wrist 2 years ago, I still showed up. I still showed up, you know, with Vicodin and everything. I showed up. It was, you know, like, being committed, guys, is when you show up when you don't feel like showing up. That's commitment. I mean, it's easy to show up when everything is a bed of roses, but when it's not, when the fun is over, And I still go back to when I broke my wrist. That wasn't fun.
And our regional even showed up at your house.
Sure.
That was crazy.
That was. And I'll always be grateful to Kim Carver for showing up to my house. Under the Vicodin influence, he came to see me. But because I'm mission driven, because I'm purpose driven, it's just, and I'm a God-fearing woman. Listen to me. I am a God-fearing woman. And each and every one of you, you all have this calling, all of you, and Beachbody is simply a platform.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone that comes to this platform is broken. One way or another, they're either broken physically, spiritually, mentally, financially. Those are the 4 areas. Those are the 4 areas that people are broken, And so somebody once told me this and said, they were watching an interview with a very well-known preacher. It's Billy Graham. And so when they were interviewing Billy Graham, Billy Graham said that he had asked in prayer time, he had asked God, why did you choose me to do this mission? And he said, because the other 2 said no. And that has stayed with me forever. I'm like, oh, hail to the no. I am not going to be overlooked. I am not giving my talent to anyone else. This was given to me for a reason, and I'm going to see it through. And that's what drives me every day. It drives me every day. Your purpose, your calling has to be bigger than any obstacle, than any fear, And what fear does, fear is just trying to stop you from fulfilling that calling. That's what it is. You need to understand that.
Yeah.
And so I've always been a fighter. Like I've always been feisty. So do I sometimes feel fear? I'm human, of course. Absolutely. But I fight it back. I fight it back because God is bigger than fear. Hands down.
So so one of the biggest advice for that question is to be purpose driven and not to have fear and to just, no matter what, you show up, right? You show up when you broke your wrist, you show up when you're sick, you show up when you're on vacation, you show up.
When my mother had a stroke, people.
I know. And so in addition to that, can you share a little bit about how you track your business? I know that because I'm your success partner, I know exactly how you track your business with your leader roadmap and, how you kind of tell them a little bit about that. Because I think I kind of realized something. One of my coaches came to visit from Florida, and I sat with her to go over the leader roadmap. And I realized that that's something that we should be doing more often. And if you don't know what that is, it's in your back office. I'll share it in the team page when we're done. But tell them, so let's say, okay, so one of the concerns was, okay, so you're working your business, maybe you're concerned about Success Club, maybe we have 15 more days in the month. What does Micki do? What do you kind of take a look at besides being purpose driven and having that positive attitude and being passionate? What advice can you give coaches that are in that situation, that are just not hitting, they're not meeting their goals?
Well, that's why, guys, this is a business, right? And I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you that work a full time, that you go to work because you need a paycheck, because you got to pay bills, right? I don't know anyone that shows up to the job like, I love my job so much that I'm just going to volunteer. Like, I don't know anybody who does that, right? You go to a job because you got to pay rent, you got to pay mortgage, you got to pay the food on your table, you want to have a savings account, you want to go on vacation, you got to take the kids to after school, whatever it is. We need money. That's the bottom line. Like, we need money. So you need to give yourself some financial goals. Like, what are your goals? Is it to pay down a debt? Is it to go on on a lifetime cruise? Whatever it is. What's your goal? You've got to have a financial goal. And then based on what that goal is, then you got to take a look at, well, I think it's Jim Rohn who says it, when you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. When you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. And so you've got to take a look at, what are your financial needs? Because yes, this is a fitness company and, you know, we have fitness goals, but what about your financial goals? I believe that a lot of coaches forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
They totally forget about their financial goals. They're crying poverty, because I know it, because I speak to a lot of you guys. And so you're crying poverty, but you're not getting off your butts to do anything about it, to sit down and say, okay, well, I need X amount by such and such date. What do I need to do to get there? And so the leader, like, you know, Saudi just mentioned, the leader roadmap is breaking down your financial goals monthly. You know, like this is something that I actually have a call tomorrow with some of my coaches to go over the leader roadmap. Funny that you should bring that up. Because
and the income calculator to know, you know, to do those projections and to kind of measure yourself. You can't grow it if you don't know it.
Exactly. Because what you measure grows. What you measure grows. And let me share something, because you guys, you know, I keep it real, right? So, you know, when I made a decision to work this business, and this was my full-time career, you know, I was doing my leader roadmap. And then what happens is sometimes, guys, you can never get comfortable. Don't ever get comfortable, because at one point I got comfortable and I stopped doing the leader roadmap and I stopped doing certain activities. And you know what happened? It affected my business. Mm-hmm. When you're a business owner, because that's what we are, we're business owners. Business owners never stop tracking. You just never start tracking. And you know something, guys? Another thing, keeping it real, is every part of our business going to be sexy? No, of course not. There's a lot of things that perhaps, like, you know, I mean, when I left the bank, Saudi, I was like, oh, great, now I don't have to track numbers anymore. Oh, I was so happy. Oh, I don't have to track numbers anymore. Boy, was I wrong. I actually have to track it more now than what I did before, because at the bank, it was a set salary, and I knew that's what was coming all the time. There was no raises, no nothing. But here, the beauty about our business is that we give our own raises based on our efforts.
And we earn so many different ways. And it's like what I was telling my coach is, you know, all right, you set your projection and you can't just, sit there and expect it to happen. There are 6 ways to earn in this company. And if way 1 doesn't work, you go to way 2, and way 3 doesn't work, you go to way, and you have to have a backup plan for the backup, for the backup, for the backup. You know, and that's how you get to the Million Club, guys. That's how you build your business to an elite business. That's how you move up in rank. You know, you can't leave this business to chance. And I hope that this opened up your hearts and your minds. And obviously, Micki and I have a lot up our sleeves, and it includes the leader roadmap, and it includes the income calculator. We're going to share it on the team page for you guys to kind of play with it. But Micki has a call with her team tomorrow. I'm traveling next week, so when I get back, maybe we can schedule something, Micki, where we could do a live one for the team. But just go play with it. Like, I learned how to use the leader roadmap, just freaking playing with it. Just don't ever wait for anybody to teach you anything in this business. That's another thing. You have to be self-resilient, a self-starter. Like, go Google stuff. And you know, one of the I think it was in the I think it's the 21 laws of irrefutable laws or something. There was something that in that book where they say that to be a business owner, you have to be the type of person that just goes out and finds what they need for their business. Everything's in the back office, everything you can find, but you have to be willing to get up and get it, you know? Micki, so I thank you so much for allowing me to do this here tonight. You know, you have been such an example for me. I'm blessed to have you in my life. You're such a resilient woman. You stay so grounded to what you believe in, and that's an example in itself for me every day as a person, as a wife, as a mom. The way you drive us, you know, wholeheartedly doesn't go unnoticed, and so I want you to know that. You know, being in the Million Club and me harassing you to let me make a big deal about it means a lot to me. Because I really, really want for our team to stop having limited beliefs. I feel like, you know, we have so many powerful women and men on our team. And, you know, I want you guys to just get up and be willing to fall and to learn from not only Micki and I, but from like follow Adawi, who just freaking made Diamond, and she just signed up. She didn't even have a freaking challenge group the other day. And look at the things that she's doing already. And I want you guys to follow Yadi and just see that she was there from Florida with a whole team. And that's powerful. Those are the kind of things that I did, that Micki did when we were starting. And we want you guys to duplicate that. And so many other coaches, you know, that are making things happen. I mean, look at the elite coaches who really put skin in the game, and you'll hear from them next week, because it was a hard year. And, you know, it was tough. It's not something easy. We're not saying it is easy, but it's totally doable. And it's going to be even more doable for all of you this year. And so, Micki, we admire you. You know, you're such a freaking amazing woman, focused, disciplined, and we all want to follow in your footsteps.
Oh, thank you, sis. You know what? And you know, and I realized, like, even doing this, is that I was a little bit of a holderbacker, you know, and I always talk about don't hold back. You got to share your story. You got to share all that. And I realized that I was holding back the blessing that God has given me in this business. And so I needed to share, like, I needed to open up about it, to give vision, to give you guys hope. Like, you know, there's nothing really extra special about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a chick from Corona, man.
I mean, as much as I harass you, you know, when we went to Tony Robbins, I realized that I understand why we have because I also don't publicly say that we accomplished this, because it's kind of like we're embarrassed in a way, because it's not supposed to happen to us. And, you know, sadly, you know, some of our really close family are stuck, you know, and it's a weird thing, you know, it's a very weird thing, but we can't hold it from you guys, and we have to share with you guys, because we need you guys to really just believe in yourselves enough to see the last one standing and to go big.
Yep, we could do this together, guys. So thank you so much for tonight, guys. Thank you for being on the call. Love you guys. And yeah, we're really excited about 2018, guys. We really, really are excited. So, you know, expect more trainings on the team page, more Facebook Live on the team page, more training here when we do our Monday calls. Our goal is to, you know, I share this with one of my coaches, is that, you know, my focus this year is, you know, and I believe it was Melanie Metro who said it on the wake up call. Isn't it cool now to do it, to see a Facebook Live? I loved it. I loved it. You know, but she shared it, like, she had to reinvent herself, because she had to learn, you know, this whole thing with Instagram. Like, we're students of life forever. We're students all the time, you know, and I know that that's one area that I need. That's a huge focus for me this year. Instagram, the stories and all that, being consistent with that. You know, because I'm not going to continue to grow my business the way I've grown in the last 6-7 years. Things have changed. And so I gotta stay on top of the changes as well. So
that's why we're entrepreneurs. I mean, things are always going to be different. Things are always going to be changing, and we just have to adapt and grow. That's the way it is. And that's why this isn't a pyramid, because you have to always constantly reinvent yourself and show up and do what you got to do. So I'll go ahead, and so what I'm going to share is the leader roadmap. I'm going to share the one that Micki and I got from when we used to work with Kim before he became the regional trainer now. And it's kind of cool because it's an Excel doc and it has everything in there. It has the contact list, the leader roadmap, and one more thing, I forget what it is, some other tracking thingy. But you have to know Excel. You have to have Excel. If you don't know Excel, try to take a little crash course on it, because there's tabs in the bottom. And so many of my coaches get it and then they don't know what to do with it. And so another part of being a business owner is that you have to learn these things. Like when I worked for the school board, I didn't know Excel, but I lied on my resume and I said I knew Excel. And so what did I do? I taught myself Excel, no lie. So I would go home and I would teach myself Excel. Legit, I would go to bed 2-3 in the morning. And that's the same thing I do with my business. Like I teach myself these things. Just remember that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the doc with you guys.
All right, guys. So the focus this year, guys, is learn, apply, and teach. Learn, apply it, and then teach it to your team, guys. That's it. All right. I think we're done. That's a wrap.
Constanza did the same. All right, you all going to learn Excel. Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good night. Love you guys. God bless you.